In the fall of 2019, a 29-year-old man named Ryan Carter set off once again on one of his solitary journeys. A seasoned traveler from Asheville, North Carolina, Ryan had spent the past 4 years exploring remote and lesser-known parts of the United States. Unlike most tourists, he was drawn to places that were quiet, offbeat, sometimes even abandoned. It didn't matter if there were no popular attractions. For him, peace and the mystery of the unknown were enough. That October, his curiosity took him deep into the forested hills of Hollow Pines, a sparsely inhabited village nestled within the mountains of Vermont. He found lodging in a modest old inn run by a retired couple and intended to stay a few days to enjoy the stillness. But by the third day, restlessness crept in. Ryan opened Google Maps, looking for something, anything, to explore nearby. To his surprise, the only notable result was a small public library just half a mile from the inn. No reviews, no photos, just a name, Hollow Pines Library. The next morning, he strolled to the address, only to find the building closed. It looked like no one had visited in years. Just as he turned to leave, a voice called out behind him.
"Looking for something, young man?"
Startled, Ryan turned to see an elderly gentleman in an old-fashioned suit and trench coat. The man's silver hair was slicked back, and his eyes, dark and deep, had a strange intensity to them.
"Library's mine,"
the man said, smiling.
"Name's Mr. Whitmore. I don't open during the day. Nights when the real reading begins. If you're interested in books that show you more than just words on paper, come back tonight."
Ryan hesitated. There was something unsettling about the man, but curiosity won out. "All right, I'll be back after dinner." That night, just before 10 p.m., Ryan returned. The library was glowing. Soft golden light spilled out from the tall windows, cutting through the fog. He stepped inside. The room was silent, but not empty. Books lined the walls from floor to ceiling. Mr. Whitmore emerged from the shadows, smiling wider than before.
"I'm glad you came. Let me show you the section most never see."
Ryan followed him through a narrow corridor until they reached a tall, locked cabinet. Mr. Whitmore whispered something under his breath as he unlocked it, and a heavy scent, not unpleasant but too sweet, poured out. Inside were just a handful of books, but their appearance made Ryan's skin crawl. One had a cover made of what looked like faded animal hide. Another had a crude drawing of a human skull and dripping candles. Another had the word Necrosophy embossed in red, cracked lettering.
"These,"
Whitmore said,
"are not for the faint of heart."
Ryan's pride wouldn't let him back down. "I've read darker things," he said. Whitmore gave him a long, knowing look and placed one of the books on the table.
"Then begin."
The book was unlike anything Ryan had ever held. Its pages were brittle but warm to the touch, too warm. The words inside spoke of ancient rites, the awakening of graveyards, and the summoning of spirits not yet at peace. He skimmed through the pages uneasily, skipping over chants written in an old, unfamiliar script. Whitmore noticed and stopped him.
"No skipping. Every word is necessary."
Reluctantly, Ryan returned to the chants. As he began to read them aloud, a weight settled on his chest. The air grew dense. Lights flickered. Then, a scream. It wasn't outside. It was inside the library. Faint at first, then louder, like a crowd of voices in agony. Ryan shot up and turned, but Mr. Whitmore was gone. Suddenly, from the library's front doors, shadows began pouring in. Not quite human, not quite solid, pale figures, faces sunken, limbs twisted, some crawling on all fours, dragged themselves toward him. He ran back into the reading room, heart pounding. The walls throbbed. Whispers followed him. He slammed the door and searched for something, anything, to protect himself. Then it came to him. This is still a library. Sorry for the interruption. If you're still watching, please hit that subscribe button below. So, let's continue the video. He scanned the shelves. Philosophy, science, history, and then a small red book with gold lettering. The Gospel of St. Michael and the Psalms of Protection. Ryan grabbed it and dropped to the floor. His hands shook as he began to read aloud the verses, his voice cracking, his eyes darting around the room. The creatures didn't enter. They hovered just beyond the threshold, wailing louder, but never crossing in. Ryan kept reading until morning bells from the village church echoed across the hills. As the first light of dawn touched the windows, the whispers stopped. The shadows evaporated. The door creaked open and silence returned. Ryan stumbled out. The library behind him now looked dark and abandoned. No lights, no sign of life. Unable to shake what happened, Ryan ventured into the village and asked about the mysterious Mr. Whitmore. An old man at the general store listened quietly, then spoke in a gravelly voice. Whitmore's been dead for nearly 30 years. Wasn't right in the head. They say he practiced black magic, used that library to perform rituals, sacrificed animals. Some say people. No one dared to stop him. But one night, he tried raising the dead. Locals found him torn apart at the bottom of Devil's Bluff. Ryan's blood ran cold. They buried him without a name. That library's been abandoned since, except sometimes folks say they still see the lights on at night, like he's still waiting for someone to read his cursed books. Ryan left Hollow Pines that same day. He never spoke about the incident in full, but sometimes, when he was alone, he could still hear the voices, the wailing, especially in the hours just before dawn. And in every town he traveled to afterward, he never entered another library at night again, because somewhere Mr. Whitmore is still waiting, and his books are never truly closed. Still watching, but not subscribed. A lot of effort goes into making these videos. When you subscribe and share, it keeps me motivated to create more. So please, make sure to subscribe.